Hi, it's Dr. Z to talk to you today about neurons. I'll be using the concept of a telephone pole as a way of describing how neurons work. First, imagine a telephone pole. The main pole can be considered the cell body of a neuron, this stick right here. At the top of a telephone pole, you see wires sticking out. Well, in a neuron, these can be considered dendrites up here at the top, or branch-like extensions from the cell body that receive signals from other neurons. Now, a telephone pole does not exist all by itself. Well, to what does it connect to? Well, another telephone pole. Thus, the neuron connects to another neuron by the axon. The axon is a slender tail-like extension that transmits signals to other neurons or dendrites. To speed up communication along the axon, it's covered by myelin sheaths, or a white fatty coating that acts as insulation. In other words, imagine a white fluffy marshmallow covering the axon. In this drawing, it's actually yellow, but bear with me here. The signal travels faster along the myelin sheath because it hops from one myelin sheath to another rather than going slowly along the axon. The myelin sheath is extremely important because damage or deterioration of the myelin sheath results in slowed down or non-existent communication between neurons. The disease called multiple sclerosis, or MS, is a result of the deterioration of the myelin sheath. Now, a surprise little fact, the gap between the myelin sheath is called the nodes of Ranvier, which is not illustrated in this drawing. Now, we have a big surprise at the end of the axon. If you see the little green circle, that little green circle is showing that the axon is not physically connected to the other neuron. Rather, they're separated by the synapse. So if you go down to the larger circle, you'll see the synapse. The synapse is where the sending neuron communicates with the receiving neuron across the synaptic cleft. The synaptic cleft is this little gap between the two neurons. In other words, neurons communicate in two different ways: through electrical impulses along the axon with the help of the myelin sheath, and then chemical signals across the synaptic cleft because they have to get to the other side of this cleft. This drawing is a simple way of explaining the structure of neurons and a brief introduction to how neurons communicate. Please see my other video on neuronal communication.